where can people buy your coffee?
Yeah, if you're not local to Buffalo, or you don't want to stop into Lakeview or any of these other locations, MNJava, so MNJAVA.com would be the website. And it says order here. You can hop on there. And like I said, we'll ship it anywhere. One thing I did add this morning before coming here was a little discount code for your listeners.
Oh, sweet.
So BCP.
BCP.
Yep. Hop on the website, and then when you get to the checkout, you type in BCP, and it'll give you 10% off the order.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna order that right here. So
yeah, that's great.
Hey, everybody, we've got another episode of the Buffalo Community Podcast, and we've got Minnesota Coffee Company in here with Hans Hogue. Second time guest on the show here.
Yeah, it's been a little while, but some things have changed in our lives recently, and
just a little bit.
Yeah.
So catch us up. This is brand new. It's about 6 weeks old since you guys took the reins over.
Yeah, it depends upon what you call new. The business itself is 20 years old. We purchased it about 6 weeks ago. So it's been my favorite coffee for a long time. Been drinking it for 20 years, 15 years, and opportunity came up to buy it about 2 months ago, and we executed and bought it fairly quickly. It was pretty. Never bought a business before. I own 2 other businesses. Never bought one, but it was a pretty easy process, and we're loving it. I'm a huge coffee fan, so. And it's cool that it's located close enough to here in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. It's located in Litchfield, so my wife and I are running it right now, and we go there 2 days a week. And it's been an interesting adventure already. So
sure. Let's talk about the history of it and kind of how you came about it. But I kind of want to eventually kind of circle back to your other 2 businesses. Mm-hmm. You built those businesses, but then you purchased this one. So I have questions, but later on about that one.
Yep.
So Minnesota Coffee Company. History is 20 years ago, and then what's the connection?
Yeah, so I'm a 2003 Litchfield High School graduate, so is my wife. The business was started by a Litchfield graduate about 20 years ago in a small town really close to Litchfield, and moved to Litchfield a couple years later. And he actually left Minnesota and moved to Iowa and took a job and left it for his parents to run, kind of as a retirement side project for them. And I started buying the coffee probably late 2000s, maybe 2008, 9, 10, in that range. And I've loved it ever since. Like I said, located right in downtown Litchfield, right in my hometown. The original owner sold it to a guy about a year and a half ago that also owned the brewery in town. And he ended up selling both those businesses recently and moved to a lake in northern Wisconsin. So opportunity came up to buy it, and it was kind of a no-brainer. It was a very easy decision for me that yes, I wanted to buy the company. It was just more of a logistical, where are we going to get the money and how are we going to make this work?
Minor detail part.
Yeah.
Small potatoes.
Right. Yeah. That's cool. In terms of, was there any hesitation and I'm assuming, but you can correct me, that roasting beans is not something you've done in the past? I mean, was that a factor in terms of like, I'd love to buy the place, I don't know how to do that? Or did you have that background and knowledge?
I had never roasted coffee before, and I've never worked in a coffee shop. My wife has, although she does not drink coffee, ironically. Mm-hmm. She's worked in the coffee shop and more on the brewing side. Neither one of us had roasted coffee. However, when I went and met with the previous owner, basically what he told me is if you can bake a cake, you can roast coffee. He said baking a cake is actually more difficult, more complicated than roasting coffee. And when you're buying a 20-year-old business, you have the playbook and the recipe book.
Sure.
All the notes over 20 years of everything that's been tried and tested and true. And so we're, following that playbook, where I didn't have to invent the wheel. I didn't have to go through all of the trial and error and how hot do we roast this and for how long and what beans do we blend together and where do you get your beans from and all of that. In the same idea of buying a franchise, where you're getting the playbook on a non-franchise level. You're buying a business, you're getting all of the insider information, which expedited our learning curve very quickly. And so the previous owner stayed on with us. We were trained and worked with us for about 5 weeks. after we had a verbal agreement in place. He was there for full time for about 5 weeks with us while we were learning. So, and then since then, we are now full time in ownership at about 7 weeks. It was mid-January when we wrote him the check. So
Yeah.
And I've seen some of your beans in local here.
Yep.
So catch us up. It's not someplace you can go get a cup of coffee.
Correct.
It's just where you can go get a bag of coffee, a pound of coffee, order coffee online.
correct.
So maybe people don't know that.
Right. Yeah. So we currently are in about 15 retail locations throughout the state of Minnesota. We've added about 5 locations since we purchased the business. Downtown, right here in Buffalo, Lakeview Antiques has a good selection of our coffees. So does Honey Mama Boutique. They have, if you like the flavored coffee, like the Jamaican Me Crazy, like we're drinking here,
Yep.
you can pick it up at either one of those locations. Forge has a small selection of our coffee as well. We added a place in Maple Grove. There's some area churches that are serving our coffee on Sundays now. So we've hit the business development lane hard while also roasting the coffee.
Yeah. Sure. Well, you've done a good job considering you've been in business for 6 weeks, or whatever, since January. I was completely unfamiliar with the brand.
Yeah.
And not just because you're here today, but I feel like for the last 6 weeks, I've seen and heard about. So as far as reaching me, I was made aware of it, almost 6 weeks ago, I feel like.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, one of the first things we did was update the logo. You can thank the producer here, Luke, for that, and shout out to him for doing a great job. I guess if you like the new logo, you can,
Hans,
thank me.
you don't like it.
Send all your hate mail to Luke there.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that one.
Yeah, he reps the hat. We don't have any hats for sale. People have asked and everything. He kind of went out on his own and had those hats created and getting a lot of great feedback on the logo and the hat and working with him is coming soon on some other merchandise.
Sure.
But yeah, so it's been it was a very old school business in the form of until August of last year, you couldn't pay with a credit card. You couldn't order online. There was no social media presence. There was a Facebook and Instagram page created last year by the previous owner, and we have stepped up that engagement a lot since buying it.
Mm-hmm.
We have not done a paid ad as a company ever, whether it's Google or Facebook or anything. So it's been all organic for the first 20 years, and we haven't spent any money on marketing either yet. So not that it's going to always stay that way, but yes, we've been trying the organic Facebook and Instagram route, being very active on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. It's located in Litchfield right now. Any thoughts of expanding that or moving that, or just going to stay in Litchfield while you guys are still home base here, and then just expanding locations on where you can get it?
Yeah, the plan is to stay in Litchfield. We're in a great space downtown that we can significantly grow the company and still operate out of that location.
Yeah.
The shorter term plan would be to grow it to the point where I can hire an employee to do all the roasting for us. And so I can sit in the full-time sales business development lane. Not that I don't enjoy roasting, I do, but wearing both hats, if I could only wear one, it would be the business development side.
Sure.
To expand and more cafes, and we have the food co-op and coffee shops and like mom and pop cafes and occasional shops and a number of different specialty retail locations that sell our coffee. And so the plan would be for me to dedicate more of my time to growing that side of the business versus roasting and doing business development part-time.
Yeah.
So,
and thankfully, roasting is easier than baking a cake.
It's easier than baking a cake, from what I've been told.
You don't have to have a college degree to roast coffee or some specialty skill. So hopefully that position is easily filled.
Yeah.
And find a great person and allow you to get out and tackle that marketing piece.
Yep. Got to grow it a little bit first to be able to cover the expenses of adding an employee. But yeah, that's in the hopefully the near future. Hopefully yet in 2025, we have at least a part-time, if not a full-time employee at the Litchfield location, roasting and handling all that. And then we can focus on the other side of the business.
Yeah. What's your roasting capacity now? How many bags are you going through building? I mean, let us peek behind the scenes a little bit.
Sure. Last year, the company did about 8,000 pounds, roasted 8,000 pounds and sold. We're on track for probably about double that this year at this point.
Sure.
Maybe not quite double at this stage of the game, but our roaster, we typically roast about 20 pounds at a time, and you can do a batch about every 15 minutes.
Oh.
So looking at around 80 pounds an hour with about a 80 to 85% yield from that. So you put in 20 pounds of green coffee beans, you don't get 20 pounds
Sure.
out of the roaster when you're all done. And then here's a fun fact. Did you know that the longer you roast a coffee bean, the darker it is, the larger the bean gets?
Huh.
I didn't know that. I thought you were going to say the darker the roast, the less caffeine.
There is a lot of debate on that, but yes, that seems to be the general consensus that the longer you roast it, the less caffeine that there is. But the longer you roast it, the bigger the bean gets as well.
How about that?
Well, it's pretty noticeable size difference. It's not like, oh, it's a little bit bigger. It's
Sure.
pretty substantial.
Yeah.
Your beans, do you grind them, or are they whole beans? Is that what you sell? Do you grind them?
Yep, we do
package
both.
them?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you walked into any of our locations, most of them are selling both ground and whole beans. Some of them are only doing one of the two. But if you order on our website, you can select ground or whole bean. You can do 1 pound. You can do 5 pound. We have 5 pound bags as well.
Yeah. 25-pound bags.
That's right.
25-pound bags.
20. Yeah, that's right. And we ship it all over the country. I just looked, since we purchased the company, we've shipped product to about a dozen different states, from Virginia to Arkansas, Missouri, Texas, Arizona, to a guy in Canada that has a Washington PO address.
Sure.
So we're a recognized coffee brand and have been for a long time. That just felt like we could put a little bit of a facelift on it and grow it. So that's what we're excited about.
Huh. So going back to whole bean versus ground bean,
Mhm.
I'm sure there are people who are very much whole bean people, and you're like, what's the difference, and what do people like? I mean, I would imagine your ground beans they're looking for the convenience, the quick, but do you notice a difference as a coffee connoisseur, or what's the difference?
So I would not be in the barista category of my capabilities on that end.
Sure.
I like coffee. I drink at least 6 cups a day. I'm a good, strong medium roast. I like espressos. I like French press. A variety of different ways you can brew it. However, I am not an expert on the brewing.
Sure.
But in terms of freshness and flavor profiles, one of the reasons why I like medium is you get a good balance of the individual flavor profiles of the actual bean itself, with a decent amount of caffeine and not getting the quote unquote burnt taste of a dark roast. But when you're grinding coffee, there's a lot of people that are going to believe that the longer the coffee has been ground, the less the flavor is that you're going to get out of the coffee. So
Sure.
In a perfect world, would you grind it and then brew it right away? Yes. However, does everybody have a grinder at home? No. Does everybody want to do that? No. Why are Keurigs so popular? It's just fast and easier, right? But if you get into the specialty coffees, where you're paying a higher price point for the coffee itself, the beans, me as the purchaser of large bags of beans, people are typically looking for higher quality and more flavored dynamics in the coffee. So they're going to tend to want to grind it more because they're more in tune with that versus somebody that's walking in and buying something off the grocery store shelf that's maybe been ground 6 weeks or 6 months ago. Yeah,
Sure.
So it's a little bit of a flavor versus convenience factor.
Yep.
I'm guilty of grinding it at the shop and then bringing it home and letting it sit on my shelf for a couple weeks and then I'm going to have this one now. So do I grind it right before I roast it? No, I don't. I'm a busy father and business owner and do I take the time every morning to do that? No, I have an auto drip set to go at 4:30 in the morning and it starts brewing. Yeah. So
What a great way to wake up. I
That's
love
right.
the smell of coffee.
Yep.
You know, it's fantastic. So again, yeah, we've spoken a few times, just like this business development and just all these other things of you want to stay hard and fast there. And it's just kind of a neat little project. You built a couple of businesses, and building versus buying, pros and cons.
I would say the biggest pro to buying a business would be you don't have to work on getting your name out there, right? So there's been people buying the coffee for 20 years because that's it's been around that long, and the name and reputation and quality has been proven true, right? Starting a business from scratch is cheaper if you look at it from a money out of your pocket standpoint, but it's you still got to get the name, brand recognition out there,
Which can cost money.
which is going to cost either time or money, or energy between developing trust with people to the point where they would hire you to do something. So the other two businesses being in the home services space, people need to have a certain level of trust with either you as the owner or salesperson, whatever role you occupy, or the brand itself, and like to allow them to come into to their house and perform a service, right? I had more background in the home services space and connections and knew it prior to starting those two companies, and so it was an easier transition to basically let my quote unquote network know that I'm in business now for myself versus having a job. And they're like, oh, we already know, like, and trust you from your background in this space already. You have your own company. Tell us about it, like why you're doing it and things like that. And so it's, I would say jumping into a new space like coffee, if I was starting from scratch, never having a name or a company or background in the space,
A little dangerous.
I think it would have been a little bit riskier, especially the upfront cost. Like the roasters are not cheap. Neither are the sealers. And so, different industries, pros and cons to doing both. But I'm enjoying all three businesses. So
yeah, perfect. Pie in the sky. Is it grow it to £1 million a year, or is that what you're looking for? Is it you know what? Let's build it and sell the business, or is there going to be any talks like that, or just?
I had a guy here locally already say, like, hey, if you ever want to sell it, I'll buy it from you. And I said, I don't think. It's not for sale. This is not a quick flip, try to, maximize profit and turn around and sell the business. I'm very interested in businesses and I'm still looking for more acquisitions or talking with people about starting more businesses. And so I kind of feel like this full-time entrepreneur lane is really fun and exciting, and I really enjoy it. And so I'm looking for more, but I'm not going to stop drinking coffee. So owning it and scaling it to whatever capacity that ends up being, that's the goal. Like, let's grow it as big as we can, and maybe someday my kids will want to take it over. They're already asking, like, can we try the coffee? And it's like, well,
you have enough energy right now.
You're 6, and do you need caffeine? No. So but they're very interested as well.
Cool. Family man, you're let's get off the coffee just a little bit and just kind of reintroduce yourself to people who may have not met you yet.
Yeah. So my wife and I, we've been in Buffalo. Like I said, we're 2003 Litchfield grads, and we've bounced around a little bit between a couple different states, and we settled in Buffalo in 2015. So we've been here full time since. My kids go to Impact Christian Academy. And I'm on the board of directors there. So we have 4 kids. 3 of them are at Impact, and they love it. They're really thriving in school. 5th grader, a 3rd grader, and a kindergartner. And then our youngest will be a kindergartner there in 2 more years. My wife stays at home. She helps out with the coffee business, and then she works a little bit part-time online, a few hours a week in a W-2 job. And then I own G2 Decks, which is a deck building company. I co-own that technically with another guy. He's more on the operational side. I'm more on the sales and marketing side of that business. And then I own G2 Painters. So a separate company, separate LLC from G2 Decks. Share the G2 for marketing and branding purposes.
Right. Yes. Sure.
But completely separate businesses, separate crews, everything. in that lane, I'm not holding the paintbrush.
Yeah.
I haven't once yet.
You keep working hard, and maybe someday.
Maybe someday they'll let me hold a paintbrush.
You're pretty tall, so
Well,
we need
painting
to get
seasons.
that.
Yeah, that's right. You got to build that trust.
I have done.
You got to earn that paintbrush.
Right. I have. I painted in college for a summer. But I have crews that do all the painting for us. So
Cool.
sales and marketing, business development lane is primarily what we're doing on the painting side. And then I guess I have some leftover time, so I play guitar at Riverside Church here in town every other weekend.
Leftover time.
Yeah, leftover time on Sunday mornings.
Busy people will always find that time.
That's right. Yeah, so got a lot going on, 3 businesses, Impact and Riverside, playing guitar, but really enjoying life and have a young family and
Yeah.
got a nice spring break trip planned with them coming up here in a few weeks. And so trying to maximize what we're doing and having a lot of fun doing it. So
Very cool. Where you headed, if you don't mind me asking?
Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You said that, not on camera, but you said that before.
Yep.
So
Yep. My sister lives out there. So
driving
my
or
kids-
flying?
We're flying. Yep.
Good luck with that.
Yep.
Yep. Well, both would have been good luck. That's a long drive.
2 days driving versus
Yeah.
a few hours in an airport and on a plane.
Right. Yeah.
Hard to argue. So,
Right.
yeah, my sister lives out there, so we're gonna go visit her and my kids and her kids get to hang out and have a great time. So
Very fun. I don't even think we've dropped the website name. Where can people buy your coffee?
yeah, if you're not local to Buffalo, or you don't want to stop into Lakeview or any of these other locations, MNJava, so MNJAVA.com would be the website. And yeah, it says order here. You can hop on there. And like I said, we'll ship it anywhere. One thing I did add this morning before coming here was a little discount code for your listeners.
Oh, sweet.
So BCP.
PCP.
Yep. Hop on the website, and then when you get to the checkout, you type in BCP, and it'll give you 10% off the order.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna order that right here. So
Yeah, that's great.
I like that. That's cool. It's great.
I don't think that's ever happened before in the Buffalo Community Podcast. I feel, our listeners getting a sweet deal.
Nice.
That's awesome. So
Nice.
Yeah.
thanks for doing that.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm hoping you can share once this airs. I'm hoping you can. Hey, we had X amount of people take advantage of the 10% discount code.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
So yeah. Let's actually make that the hook of the 10% discount code. So
You're going to regret that.
Well,
Hopefully.
hopefully I regret it.
No, just kidding.
yeah, it's very, very fun. Well, thank you. Thank you for offering that to all 250,000 of our viewers.
That's right.
And yeah, have we missed anything that you wanted to touch base on?
On the coffee side, I would just say that there's a flavor for everybody. We have over 50 different flavored coffees. So we're drinking Jamaican Me Crazy, which is one of our most popular flavored coffees, Highlander Grog being the most popular one. So if you're more in the sweeter flavored coffee fan club like you, Tyler,
Jamaican Me Crazy, and I'm used to be I'll take some coffee with my cream, and I've flip flopped that. But there was no cream in this, and it was good, and I really enjoyed it. So for the people that aren't super strong coffee drinkers, that Jamaican Me Crazy is fantastic.
I've had that comment a number of times where people are usually heavy sugar or heavy cream on other coffee brands, and they said that they cut their cream and sugar consumption way down because the coffee just doesn't need it.
Right.
Yep.
And so, so we probably have more like 80 or 90 flavor options. Some of them are more seasonal around fall or Christmas or what have you. But I think we have 50 listed on our website. And then we have a number of medium and dark roasts. So most of what we're doing, we have 9 different single origins. So we're bringing coffee from 9 different countries, and we sell those as single origin, or a number of those get blended. So this would be our Land of Lakes blend. It's Mexican and Colombian beans. Very, very popular. Medium roast that we offer, probably our second most popular non-flavored coffee that we sell. And then we have 3 organic options. So something for everybody. So if you like it, really, really dark. We have a black gold, which is it's almost on fire, and it comes out of the roaster. It's smoking, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
But most of what we're doing is medium roast, but we do have a number of dark roasts as well.
Yeah. Speaking of that, and I guess I don't want to end yet because I want your opinion on this. Now that you're roasting it, have you backed off the love of the smell of coffee?
Mm-mm.
You haven't gotten sick of it yet?
No.
Okay. That's good to know. I mean, it would kind of suck if you didn't like the smell of it anymore because you're around it all the time.
It's in your clothes and
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't permeate. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you smell like it all day.
As someone who spends some time with Hans, he smells like coffee constantly.
Yep.
You're like, it's not my breath. It's actually my clothes. You know.
Yeah, if we walked right out of the roasting spot and showed up at your house, and we were in your house for a half an hour, there would still be a coffee smell in your house for a couple hours after we left.
Sure. So do you wear like the Breaking Bad get-ups then if you want to prevent that, or you just can't prevent it?
Full suit, the hazmat suit, everything just to protect. No, I don't mind smelling. There's certainly worse things you could smell.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, the coffee smell is as soon as we open the door and get there, it kind of hits you, and it's like, wow, that's a really cool smell.
Yeah, for sure.
Do they have much of a smell before you roast them?
No. Well, not like it would not smell like coffee at all. It smells like weeds or very like wet grass, very earthy green. And then as you start to roast it, then that's when the flavor and the smell starts to change dramatically.
Sure.
I had somebody in the shop yesterday actually asking if you could brew and drink unroasted beans. And I said, well, sure, good luck.
That's called tea. Isn't it?
It would probably taste awful.
Mm-hmm.
And I might have to try that just to see what it tastes like.
Yeah.
But based on the smell of the green beans, like I'm not looking forward to trying that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the big difference in
It'd be
flavor.
good social media content though.
Yeah, and they might get a lot of hits on that.
Yeah. Unroasted coffee.
It's just
taste
it
test.
takes.
Yeah.
Just, oh gosh, this is awful.
Yeah, that's what I should have brought in for you guys to try.
Right.
And you're like, look at this great coffee that we have. And you're like,
And then we just have to fake it, float it out.
Great. Thanks.
Good luck. This is not going to work at all.
yeah.
No, but seriously, these were good two
Both
options.
delicious.
So,
Yeah.
and thanks for coming in, and good luck in the ventures. And everybody, go buy coffee at mnjava.com. Enter the code BCP for your 10% off in honor of your guys' new ownership here at Minnesota Coffee.
Even better would be go downtown Buffalo and check out some of those shops and buy some coffee there.
Yeah, certainly you can, like I said, hop on the website or support the local businesses here in downtown Buffalo. There's a bunch of great occasional shops, and we're in a couple of those right now. So either one. If you don't find what you like down there, and then hop on the website.
Yep.
Cool.
And there's some at Forge as well. I saw that back there. So
Mm-hmm.
another one of our special guests. But for the Buffalo Community Podcast, I'm Tyler Reese.
I'm Mark Benzer.
And I'm Hans Hogue.
Nailed it.
Thanks for listening to the Buffalo Community Podcast, produced by Edlin Media. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube, as well as anywhere you listen to podcasts.